You do look comfortable in that chair, but it doesn't feel comfortable, right?
Yeah, it's my hips are just a little too wide, and it's the bone of my hips that are too wide.
Yeah. Plus, like you think I need the words out of this one. If you were to raise that back up, like literally this far, where those things would hit you.
Yeah.
Here, and you could kind of lean back and have your shoulders in this little spot, would be so much better. It's that weird proof that
just so that people can see what you're talking about.
No one's here now, but
yeah. But my shoulders are here. If they were like this, it would be fine.
Yeah, if they came in and pushed on the top of your shoulder.
Yeah.
Because of the backlight, it's so hard to see with your black shirt and your black thing in the corner and the dim light and blah, blah, blah. Fine. I was just chatting with something to help because.
I know. I got up from there because it doesn't roll well.
Why?
5 casters instead of 4. No, because the old chair had that. Because the casters are just like they are.
Fart.
Out. This is going to be a very
Why do people appreciate Samsung over Apple? Because I don't know. I have a suspicion why. There's multiple reasons why. Man, got that damn song stuck in my head now. Gangster's Paradise. And my dumbass is now, like, because it's on, I think it's somewhat making a resurgence, not on the pop charts, but on, like, some of the, like, hey, we just sort of play this general thing of now it would be considered adult contemporary, and they could play pretty much anything from that decade. They were like, we're going to play Britney. Now we're going to play Coolio. What? So, yeah, that's pretty much that. Alternate between water and stuff. So, like, sometimes that's why I'm hearing, like, Gangster's Paradise on actual, like, radio at the gym. Sometimes I think they'll tune it to a radio station. Other times they'll have, like, gym rock in the not Spotify or something. I don't know. The problem is there's a certain video on TikTok where, like, crazy, like, your typical, like, nerd dad bod is, like, saying that some video got, like, 1 million likes and, like, wow, that's really cool. I'm going to get my drone and go create the same thing. And then, like, it's gotten to the point where it's gotten, like, way overdone. And I'm like, I don't like that specific video. I don't want to, I can't necessarily, it's like, it's hard because I just want to, like, say not interested in that video because I want to see if the FYP can figure out that I don't like this specific video. I don't mind the sound even though the fact that it's that weird Justin Bieber song that is being used by every type of video. I'm just like, ugh. Justin Bieber's making a comeback, or he never went away and I just never knew. And I'm just like, what is going on? I feel like people didn't get what I said in that video, but I don't know. At least they're giving positive comments, even if they misunderstood it. Yeah, that's just how those things go. I misunderstood what you said, and thus giving positive comments, which is like, welcome to imposter syndrome. You didn't understand what I said, and you're giving positive comments off misinformation. Uh-oh. I kind of had a mild existential crisis on TikTok, on a TikTok video about what defines home.
Well, gosh.
Because I've noticed sometimes Americans will use the term home and have 3 different meanings for it. I gotta go home so I can pack so I can get my flight home. What? Home, back to the States. But I have to go home to get my stuff before I head out. Huh?
Yeah.
Or they have a very transitory form of, home, and it's basically wherever they happen to realize they're existing at the time. This bar is my home. This tram is my home. Like, your life is so transitory between moments and stuff that you're just like, I don't know who's what anymore. But like someone was saying that they had friends that worked at the embassy or the consulate, and they keep American staff very American centric. Like, you can only order things from online from America and make sure that you eat American products. And if you're one of those people that doesn't come over here under weird pretexts like government work, then you kind of blah into society and I don't know. I mean, the same thing applies to even some of the more esoteric business folk. They come over here and they're like, yeah, I'm just doing my job. I'm going to live the expat life, and the social media influencers or something. So weird. I don't identify with you guys. That's part of the issue, is like the expat, the American immigrants that stayed here don't necessarily exist in Amsterdam. They moved out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Is the chat working? Yeah, it's there. Oh, I should probably pin the post that this will end at hour 3. Livestream will end at hour 3 at practice. Pin post. Okay. Just a bump. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long, huh? I'm here now. Hi, John. Yes?
I looked over because I didn't know which John you meant, and then I realized it made more sense for me to go to it. And so I kept watching you because of the.
Oh, Ginger.
Yeah.
It's John Heel. So, yeah. Alternating between water and ginger shots. Like, I don't even know what health benefit they have now, but it's like the moment I took my very first shot 3 years ago, I was like, okay, this is going to be addicting. Last time I saw you, you were putting on your football gear. The green? Yeah, that video was published over like 5.5 years ago. Unless it was the white or the light blue or the royal blue, but that 3 years ago. Well, I don't think yeah. Like I said, the video's been up. If it was the one in green, that's like the most popular video on the channel, that was recorded and published on January 2016. Not only does it feel like an absolute, decade ago, it's even longer with the pandemania that went on. Bruh. Yeah, I have practice tomorrow morning. That's why the pinned comment, this live stream will end, well, about 9 p.m. my time, because I live in Europe now. So I gotta go play for the Hilversum Hurricanes and, well, practice because we have a game at the end of September. You're not in the other Portland, are you? I'm from the good Portland. I'm kidding. So Diego posted a question to his Instagram about what car was your first one? Someone posted a Toyota Prius with a fat turbo. Ooh, so you can hit a whole 70 miles an hour downhill with the wind. August 30 and it's conditioned. Yeah, we were doing conditioning before the distance restrictions went away. Because we had distance restrictions at practice, which is like dumb. But I couldn't join for Thursday practices because I would have been violating the curfew getting home. So I just went to Sundays. And so, and then they added in, okay, well, it looks like everything's getting under control. So, contact sports can go back if you're under 27 years old. So like all of our linemen, linebackers, and a couple of our receivers were like, we had to maintain that 6 feet distance. So it was like no pads, no nothing. What visor do I recommend? I don't use a visor on my Zenith. I bought a helmet from Green Gridiron. It came with a visor. It's an Under Armour one. Panthers logo on it, but that's just it's a real helmet, but it's just meant to be decorative. I don't actually use a visor because I have a very loud voice, and the little bit of visor that it's on this one, when I tried on the helmet a few times, it echoes back in my face like real bad. And I'm like, I don't need to hear my own voice echoing in my head, so I don't put a visor on. Plus, I'm from Portland, Oregon. I know how to see and rain and snow and sleet and do all the wonderful mailman things. But I would say probably an Under Armour one if I had to pick, because that's the only one I've ever seen on a helmet. We can't really use visors in our league, so it's and it seems way not worth the effort to keep putting it on and off for practices and games. So it's like, eh. I meant to go pick up some freaking cortisone stuff. Not cortisone, but the anti-itch, antihistamine stuff. It's weird because I keep getting like a bug bite right there. Bye, John. Hello, god of Roblox. Should really Google what the heck Roblox is. Like, there's a lot of people that are around there just like, oh my god, Roblox. And I'm like, oh my god, what? Lego? Or something. I know it's like a computer game, but it's like something like that.
Hello.
Okay, so I lived a life that was consumed by addiction and my homosexuality. This guy is still 100% gay. No amount of praying could ever.
Logan, if you're the same Logan that's messaged and commented over the last like 5 years, then yes, I do remember you. But I think there's been a couple Logans that came across. But it's entirely possible. People change profile names and pictures and stuff. It's sort of like people on Instagram or TikTok. They have like multiple accounts because they wear multiple hats to do stuff. You know, to be fair, if you do have an actual business account for like an online business, then you want to have a personal one. That's relatively okay. But some people are like, no, I got my backup, then my backup of my backup, and then this backup, and then my personal page. And I'm like, can we not have any videos on you about pulling off your masks when you're literally creating 5 masks in an online environment? Okay, 478. I do remember that number. Yes. Yes, I do remember that. I could probably, I don't know if I can search the channel for comments on that. Shaking my monitor back and forth because I keep hitting the table. Looking like the Netherlands is going to have an earthquake someone will actually feel.
This guy is still 100% gay. No amount of praying could ever change that. So if you believe that, I'm really sorry for your loss, but don't be gay.
Let's see if I can find. I know that there's some weird searchability things in comments. Filter. What contains questions, response status, subscriber count, super thanks, channel member status. I can't do that. Search. There we are. If this helps. Oh yeah, there's like Logan C. Logan 4 years ago. Just search up John Tridon, and that comes up as my name. What's up, Jaquan? Let me see if I can get that search back again. Oh yeah, a week ago. Okay, yeah, now I know because it's like the retail therapy from like June and various other things. It's just with the name and the profile picture change, I did not recognize it in the slightest. You're like, sup? And I'm like, I'm getting ready to cook dinner because the video went live at like 4 p.m. my time. And then you commented probably an hour or so after that while I was in the middle of making tacos. And a football game yesterday. Well, what happened in it? Other than people playing football. Don't be a smart butt. Yes, I do. That's what's on those comments. It comes up with your profile picture and the God of Roblox. You've completely rebranded your channel. I used to do the same thing with the furniture in my room. I would just get a weird idea and just completely rearrange my room. Parents thought it was really super weird that I would just move my whole bed, just everything. Just Rubik's Cube my whole room. I'm like, why would you do this? And I'm like, I didn't like it. So I did something spontaneous. The rigors of being a teenager. You never knowing what you want. You just, let's do it now. How's my day been? I was out in the sun a lot, but yeah, I did some sled training down in Watergraafsmeer. Took the trams back. Was going to do some stair running, but the personal trainer that seems to have taken up at this point most of the entire tram stop is he was there taking up both staircases. It's like, how are people supposed to leave this freaking tram thing when you've got like 10 people running upstairs on both sides? Yeah, they're not. Oh no, there's an elevator over there. Stop it, guys. I understand there's more ways to get out, but like, yeah. The day's going so good so far. We're getting dinner here in about half an hour. Well, my leg itches like it has a terrifying bug bite on it. back of my calf too. I'm like, I wore leggings to practice on Thursday so that none of the bugs would get through. Maybe it's not even a bug bite. Maybe it's an ingrown hair. I don't know. Could be a bug bite though. I definitely want to take like keys to it, just. But I'm not doing that.
Good.
How do I donate? To what? Like. To what? Like a charity? I would just go onto their website and like find their contact links. Most of them have some form of PayPal ability. I mean, unless the bug bite happened yesterday, that's always possible. While I was out riding the bike. Do the swamps. I mean, technically everywhere in Amsterdam's a swamp. Oh, you can do a super chat in here, I think. Those are optional. And then my PayPal should be my email address that's listed in the description of my videos. I don't receive money. Two places I receive money from on it, but I put that information in years ago. When people buy stuff using my codes from SISU or Sleeves, I get a bit of money from that. Helps the channel. So, yeah. The email should be channelname@gmail.com. Should be that way. But like I said, I haven't received money on PayPal except through a few automated means of stuff I set up years ago. I mean, it's entirely possible. Can you set up PayPal through a phone number?
Maybe.
I see. I may have set it up through my old US phone number. No, Soundhound, I don't have a lot on my mind. I'm doing a live stream. I don't know. The term is donate. If I ask for a designated amount of donation, that's not my concept of a donation. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's such a thing as a recommended donation, but those always feel kind of skeezy.
Yeah. Like, I remember someone put in like $1 at the collection plate at church, and some old lady like tapped it continuously and was going like, until the person put in like $2 more. And I was like, seriously?
Wow.
Yeah, that's like but that was already while I was in 8th grade. I was on my way out of Catholic school at the time. That wasn't the nail in the coffin. That was dirt on top of the coffin. It was already buried. But I mean, how much do I want is always an awkward question, because
this would be an excellent time to plug your Patreon.
I mean, I have Patreon. It's link in the description. It's Dashric.
Yeah.
Like, I have stuff like that. There's a 1, a 5, and a. I set things up so long ago that I've already forgotten. I don't check on them because I got Patreon supporters and they're there, and I post stuff through my phone, which doesn't give me crap all for information. Usually, I just do like story stuff on there and put it out to patrons. I'll have Aaron do that one. He's much better at RNG. He does D&D and coding. He likes RNG and rolling dice and stuff.
Shall I do the die on screen or
I don't
no? I'll just random.org.
So many bullshit going on here.
Dice roller.
Is he gonna complicate this?
Well, I'm just trying to find a way to choose a random number.
Oh, okay.
But random.org is overpowered for that.
Overpowered.
Overpowered, he says, opening Excel.
See, I can't pick a random number between two things. I'm always biased towards some semblance of a number.
Tell me when to stop.
I don't care. I don't. I feel awkward right now doing
146.
146. Feel awkward right now doing this. Because it seems to be taking a long time and I don't understand the concept of what's going on and I don't know the full information of the situation. In my I'm being scammed alarms are going off and I'm like, what is going on?
There's so many bullshit going on here.
So yeah, you can probably type into the chat what is going on.
Ever wonder how many ever wonder
Okay. I keep forgetting about the delay in your sending out to the chat, registering in the chat, that it's like,
yeah,
so long. And I wonder about the delay in their chat to me.
I mean, it's 10 seconds before what you do registers on my screen, then
Yeah, it's But yeah, like when SISU Mouthguard sends me stuff after people buy, like, you know, because they send me a monthly check. They send a monthly burst of anything. Is it weekly? Whatever. If anybody buys anything, I get it at like 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is not anywhere close to now. Sometimes it's like in the middle of the night. But yeah, like it sucks because, you know, I don't partake in the Venmo or Cash App sort of thing. I mean, I see a lot of profiles on TikTok that have that. And I'm just like, meh. Is that's a steering problem because it goes up and then goes down versus
no, it's just I think it's just belts slipping.
Message retracted. That changed. All these messages retracted. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh, there goes those two. Gonna go get my big one of these for tea and drink that. I didn't do anything. Message retracted says that message retracted means that the person who sent the messages unsent them like that.
Yep, that's what that means.
Happens a lot when one of my live stream viewers says he goes off on a tangent about something and realizes that he's become kind of a nuisance to the chat and is like maybe offended someone, and he'll pull back his chats. So what happened to your messages? I don't know. That would be all on your end.
Take the power of person for just 1 day, and alkaline cell is rated at right around 2.4 amp hours. If we assume 1.5 volts average, this is approximately 3.6 watt hours. Since there are 3,600 seconds in an hour, this is equivalent to 12,960.
I'm waiting a full minute.
It consumes about 2,000 dietitian calories a day. One dietitian.
Yeah. I love how it's called a dietitian calorie versus a kilocalorie because Americans are so against the metric system. From the context menu. Is that the bubble, the double?
Yeah, it's the ... It's technically the context menu is right click, but it's close enough. Yep.
Boom, message retracted. Yeah, it's definitely on user end, so. The engineering calorie. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
4.2 joules. Therefore, this is the math on how many joules you would need to power yourself per day. Divide the answer by 12,960, and you have 648 AA batteries to power a person for just 1 day.
I don't know.
How many AA?
I mean, that is entirely possible, but I'm not necessarily sure if it would allow that. But it went through very systematically when someone said, when it was like, hey, I'm going to try to donate this much money. And then like the amount of time that would go by, and then suddenly like, oh, I can't figure out how to donate. And then immediately every message started getting retracted. And I'm like, Okay, the last half will be, it ends at 9. I have practice tomorrow, so we're going back to that crap where I do 6 to 9. So it's got an hour and 15, 2 hours, 15 minutes left. Leticia is here. So yeah, 2 hours, 15 minutes. If you want to set a phone timer. Somebody is going to donate? Maybe. eBay is getting a little bit testy. I literally looked at something on eBay to see, like, hey, this looks pretty cool. And now it sent me an email that says, make an offer on Tennessee Titans game used Justin Staples jersey. No, I literally looked at an item. I made the house football's fine. Currently being harassed by eBay because apparently I looked at an item and didn't think about buying it. But yeah, football is fine. I have practice tomorrow. I probably would be washing my gear because I did a bit sweaty on Thursday. But considering tomorrow is going to be it's going to be an SPF day for football practice. So yeah. The sun's going to be up, so I don't have to worry too terribly about the Knutson and the bugs because they're going to be annoyed.
Hello. Yeah. If you're looking at construction and you can see a dentist office near you, you're in the right place. If you don't see the dentist office, you're not. We're right next door.
People have so much trouble finding the door into our apartment complex. So they call there and I'm like, I can't seem to find out how to get into your building. It's like right there. There's this double glass doors. I'm not sure if he took his key. I hope he took his key. Otherwise, I'm going to have to let him back in. I mean, look, I'll be really happy if anybody donates, but I've seen a lot of people talk about, there's a social button. There it is. It just says, I'm now live. You got a comment. You got the YouTubes. I've had people utilizing big name celebrities and stuff to comment on my videos. And I'm like, okay, but I really don't think Barack Obama's looking at my bullshit. So is Typical Gamer not here anymore? Signed into a different account? Said he's new? Banking. Do I not have PayPal on the phone? No, of course I wouldn't. Why would I have PayPal on my phone? I'm not typical dum-dum. It says, I mean, obviously you're Leticia, so it's a totally different person. And just like I said, I find it interesting. People are trying to donate. Yeah, I mean, I have other, yeah. They all send it through my email address, which is dashric@gmail.com. Gonna go see me soon? Okay. Like, in Portland? Was he like right there?
Pretty much.
I don't know why, like, people can't see the doors.
I mean, we do have that fencing in the way now. Where they're putting down the new road.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh, they don't come up onto the sidewalk.
right.
I can't see road no exist, or door no exist.
Pretty much.
Itching my back. Mm-hmm. Someone found that TikTok and is actually giving proper answers, but they're writing very long comments. We were cracking up that Afert was trying to tell me that he's dating a girl who's bipolar, but she's not like other bipolar girls that he's dated. And I'm just like, she's different. This one's different. She's a nice one. I'm like, are you kidding me? I asked what her name was, and he's like, "Oh, it's just my girlfriend. Like, she doesn't exist. She doesn't exist. If you can't tell me the name of your girlfriend in a casual conversation, she doesn't exist."
Yeah.
All right, get that burrito going. Soon. I mean, you can.
That's like, that's really too bad. Even imaginary girlfriends are bipolar for this dude.
I think he's bipolar, and he's trying to. I don't know. He's
special.
Just watch someone like not be able to get their skateboard up the stairs, so they just jumped off the skateboard. It hit the steps, and they kept running because it's only 3 short steps going up. I was like, well, that was kind of a smooth dismount. Leticia said, "I'm going to go see you." I'm like, probably not for a while unless you live outside the United States.
How are you gonna go? See ya.
Oh, you know, people need to punctuate. It's like, I mean, it doesn't help that like many keyboards on phones or many keyboards on devices kind of hide punctuation on top of that.
Yeah.
Well, weeks have been going by, going up and down. I don't actually know the last live stream you were in, but they've all been kind of going pretty well. Some news out of the States is getting me a little bit of anxiety, but there's not much I can do about that one. I been kind of expressing some of that stuff through TikTok, but I also try to keep it relatively positive because my life here isn't bad. And since TikTok loves to spread more stuff to the local environment than it does other things, I try not to depress Dutchies. But with Sunday practices starting back up, things are gonna shake up a little bit. Yeah, finally, after 2 years. I mean, the last in-season game I actually played was February 26th. Like maybe it's like the last weekend of February 2020. And even last fall, we had one game against a Belgian team that was just a friendly, but still everything was still getting rocked around. But hopefully we'll have a number of people at practice tomorrow because it's on a weekend. My like weird idea about this season is like because football here is so it's not like the people are intense with it, but like they're still amateur and off whatnot. I don't know how the rest of the teams are doing. It's not really a thing to worry about, but my brain still thinks like, you know, has Elmira gone back and had pretty heavy numbers at practice? Has Arnhem gone back to good numbers at practice? Because we're not. And how's that going to affect games? I don't know how certain German will say it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But like Crusaders have been putting out some practice stuff. And they're still working on like strength training on their field or something. I'm like, that's kind of cool, but if you have new people coming into the thing, you don't want to necessarily do a bunch of strength training. But then again, I'm the one person with like a decent social media in this entire league, so that's true. But yeah, like our first game is probably not going to be at home just because our field isn't done yet, according to the municipality. But the general joke is the municipality always out in Hilversum does things really backwards. Because we have a big mound on the backside of one of our baseball fields that when they carved out all the ground that for the sand area, they just pile it up in a back corner. Now there's a nice little grassy knoll. Shocking. But they were going to take that grass and move it on top of, or that dirt and move it on top of our hill. But now they have to finish waiting for the other softball field to finish growing and solidify before they run tractors across it. You guys know what type of defense you're going to be running this year? 4-3. It's simple. We got a fair number of new people coming in. A lot of people have realized, time and life are finite. Maybe go try out something that seems a little bit crazy. And, 4 linemen, 3 linebackers is pretty easy to teach. You've got a lot of gaps filled already just by linemen, and you got a middle linebacker like me who has the smarts to be able to fill in that extra little gap. So when you've got like a rookie DN and a whatnot, things are beneficial. I think we're kind of running on 3 linebackers right now, but we definitely need some more. Our defense coach is definitely one of those that is definitely keep it simple. Because when you complicate it, especially with language differences, it can get a little bit weird. So it's easier to keep it simple. Because the offenses are not going to be too terribly complicated, because even the other teams are having new receivers as is, and kind of hard to have a complicated offense when your receivers don't really know the difference between a curl and a hook. Depends on the team. Arnhem runs more. Lelystad throws more. Depends on how good the quarterback is. And if they have running backs. Like Maurice can throw like the Dickens. And when we get, like a good, decent running back, we will also run the ball at the exact same time because we have receivers that will literally block. But like some teams try to throw when they can't. They're like, well, because like Groningen tried to run a lot in one game, but but we had stopped their run, so they had to resort to passing, and they weren't really good at that one. Same thing applied in our game in Rotterdam, but that was just wind. Everybody was running that game. The few times the wind died out, we were able to get some passes in, but they were still expecting a run, so there's bonus for that one. But it all depends on the team, really. Like I said, Arnhem runs more than other teams. Some are a bit hybrid. Kind of. But a slant is, if you ran a slant all the time, the defensive backs are going to get, like, you're going to have to get spicy just to figure out what to show them that you're not running a slant all the time, or they're just going to guess it. And the moment you become predictable as a wide receiver, you might as well take yourself out of the game. Which is what I've been trying to tell one of our fullback running backs. We're like, dude, you need to not be predictable. Because if I know you're not getting the ball, I can literally abandon course on even blocking you, and you have no longer done your job. And I can go in and make a tackle because I know you're not getting the ball. You're no longer a threat.
Is that the guy you thought you were shit talking him?
Yeah, it was Diego. 2 brain cells doing Oklahoma drills. As a linebacker, do I like stopping the run or playing coverage more? Oh, I like stopping the run just because when I was doing training stuff with Willie, I know how frustrating it was for Willie as a running back to make no yardage. or even just 1 yard. And stopping the run or getting into the position to force the offense to abandon ship and freak out. That's my greatest thing. It's like I like on the internet to troll. I like throwing stones in glass houses. Oh my God. Anyways, and that can be through blitzes, but I'm going to check what these notifications are. Oh, it's my time sending me a line per 5 words. But anyways, I'm going to put that down here so it's not vibrating the desk. But yeah, if the so if that's like me going in for doing a blitz and the hole opened up, right? And even if it was a pass on their part, and all of a sudden, like, brah, and the quarterback has to just spill out immediately right as he was about ready to throw, and he doesn't throw and he holds the ball and runs out to the side and runs straight into our defensive end. I like that more. I like spooking the offense into losing their train of thought. Oh, a sack. It's always going to be a sack. The addition to that one would be like if one of our defensive ends got the sack and the ball fell out and I fell on top of the ball. It would be qualified as an interception because an interception and a fumble recovery are the same thing. It's a change of possession of the ball. But I would much rather have the ball go backwards. I mean, sitting in the middle of like Tampa 2 would be great. And just like pop up and boom, and then run forward a little bit, maybe back to the line of scrimmage or whatnot. But yeah, we have some defensive backs that are great at their interceptions and they're great at running and sprinting long strides, and I let that up to them. Only in rare circumstances do they get the ability to, lay out a quarterback. Or even a running back in the backfield. Defensive backs are not known for their TFLs. But, Denny does his good stuff across the middle. Yeah, because there's multiple ideas about football as one in the trenches. And that's true, because if your defense can't get past, if your defensive line can't put any pressure on the offensive line, you have the offense has won after a fashion, because the quarterback is Ben Roethlisberger, 5.5 seconds in the pocket. He gets his choice of what to do. Your defensive backs can't run all damn day. And then there's, But if your offensive line is not doing anything, you know, and that's the trenches. If your offensive line is basically Swiss cheese, then linebackers and defensive linemen are just constantly getting through, and your quarterback can't do anything. You know, they say defense wins championships, but you're right. Football is won in the trenches because it's all about technically protecting the quarterback. If you can keep him you know, and you can tell with the O-line in NFL games, if they've got a great pocket protection, that, you know, that gives you a lot longer to give Hail Mary throws on the Green Bay Packers or whatnot. True that. Gotta figure out how to write this comment. But yeah, no. But that can go for almost any quarterback. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Roethlisberger and Brady and stuff are terrifying if you give them the time. But, you know, it's the O-line that can trash a mediocre plus quarterback. If you don't have, you know, that's like one of the major things that are going to happen with a college. Oh my God, they were so good last year. Well, both your guards graduated, and now you've been trying to train up 2 rookie guards, or you moved your center over, and now you're getting quasi weird snaps, and your O line doesn't have the synergy anymore, and the quarterback you had is not getting the same stuff, and you're just not getting the ball off because the O line lost its synergy. You may have a great quarterback, but if he gets, you know, once, you know, the ball gets snapped and he's already running for his life, Hello, name I don't know how to pronounce.
That's sort of like characters, I think. Yeah.
It says Malaysia.
Hmm.
That's really cool. All the way from Malaysia. So we've had a great number of people take their time out for end year exams, and then they wanted to go on like the typical like summer break because they didn't have at the time. They just finished school. We're talking like college finals here, and so they wanted to kind of have their break of just like, can I have just a break because I've been going to school for like 4 years, and they got their bachelor's or whatever. Totally fine. We had no idea we were having a season until like the last couple of weeks. But I'm hoping that they'll come back. But as we got it so far, we have a couple linemen, Our line's been pretty solid the entire time. Our D line is going to be, as usual, great. Our receivers are doing some really weird drills, and I hope it'll help them later. But even some of our rookies are really picking it up for catching the ball and stuff. Are we going to have a good year? I hope so. Part of the thing is we had a rookie in the 2019 season, and we were actually doing pretty well with stuff. And we had him as our running back, who's Dirk. And he's been constantly training his running back. And bro, just like Willie, has no fear to hit. If he will hit someone, he will roll off of them. Like, like if Willie came and visited, I'd be like, Willie, can you come here and just like one-on-one with Dirk for practice? Just
I'm good.
Drink. I'm not taking any chances. How COVID affect you? Meh. I was sick with it back in November, but now that I'm fully vaccinated, I'm fine. It's knocked out some football seasons and caused my husband to stay at home for an egregious amount of time. So that's how it's affected me. But everyone else in the world that I know has been affected in roughly the same way. But like Dirk's doing great with the running back. We pulled in Tubface for a fullback, which is going to be great because he just loves to hit. Is your league film games? Yeah, it's required. We have to film at least box footage or some semblance of stable cam, I guess would be called. We have at our home field, we have a tower that a cameraman goes up on, and he films all the game and makes sure that he can see all the side, that sort of footage, skybox footage. It's required by the league so that they can put it up on Huddle and we can review it between the games, which has been quite a contentious topic with the guys at the gym. And they're like, so why would you do that? I'm like, why would you not? Do you guys not do that in football? Do you not do it in hockey? Do you not do it for ice hockey? I don't know. I've never played ice hockey. Terrence, do you guys do it in rugby? Do what? Watch film. Oh, I'm not really into Netflix. You fucking golden retriever. But yeah, we're required to film those boxes footage and I have him record like sideline footage. So if you go back and watch previous videos like football season 2019 or 2020, it's a playlist on the channel. You'll see game day vlogs basically. And that's like 130 video clips that I got to go through the next morning and like find the right clip and put some music on it and make sure that yeah, it takes me a while, but I do make them. Aaron films on the side. So like you guys can see the running back coming out of the backfield and then swirling up for a wheel route, and he follows him like that. You've seen all those crazy catches on the sideline, and Aaron's gotten a few of those too. He's also been ran into.
Yeah, I was gonna say I caught a football player to the knee once.
Oh, Kevin, you said you were going to be there on Thursday. In a few weeks, I'll come back to practice. Season end very soon. Have game every week. Yeah. Yep. Playoff. Polaroid playoff. Just fucking swipe. Aaron films the game surprisingly well for standing on the sidelines. It's hard to catch the game on phones when I try filming games. He uses this. Previously, he used this, but
And then before that, I used. Sorry.
But with this thing basically coming apart, you know, it kind of gets hard to hold on to. And the back case doesn't close anymore because the clip fell off, so it's no longer waterproof. I mean, it still works, and I can utilize it in the house, but again, it's not waterproof. So any little bit of rain can wreck that thing. This is at least water resistance. It's not proof, but it still works. But yeah, he'll just record on this. So it's full HD. And when I'm doing game day vlogs, I export in the full 1080p. Sometimes if I'm just doing a general BS vlog, I sometimes down it to 720. I'm like, I'm not doing anything high end. It's just me walking around doing grocery shopping. That doesn't require 1080p. But I will never do not HD. 720 is still HD, right? It's just dummy HD. Yeah, Kevin said he'd be there on Thursday, but he didn't show up. He films every play. He films about, well, depends on the actual play. It's sort of at his discretion, which is pretty good. But yeah, it's sometimes they're 10-second clips because he always starts a little bit beforehand. And, you know, football, stop and go. So it's not like he has to constantly film, but we always have batteries and charge ports. So like he'll charge it, like he'll film and it'll do everything. And then he'll just plug it in during halftime and suck a little bit of juice out of the battery and recharge this thing a little bit. Although the battery can last 5 hours constantly. And the memory card can hold 3 hours of footage, I think. But yeah. How long is the first video clip? Sometimes they're long. But again, like Aaron at first didn't know how long plays were, but much like anything, like literally watch anything, you will start understanding the timing of it. And that's why when people are like, oh, I'm starting out at linebacker, what should I do? And I'm just like, the NFL season's starting up. Literally, don't watch the quarterbacks. Don't watch it. Literally, like you may have your favorite team, but if you can't watch your favorite team, still watch the game. Even if you don't care about either team, always watch the linebackers. Aside from special teams, you've always got to watch the thing. Always watch the linebackers. You never know what your brain's going to pick up. If you're going to play another position, watch those. If you tend to be always on right slot receiver, watch that one. Watch that position constantly. Watch the number 2 on the right side. If there isn't, because they're running 2 and 1, watch the other slot receiver. Your brain can absorb the weirdest things without you knowing, and it'll make connections in the background. So. My high school that had like 600 people, it wouldn't even film for our football games. Like I said, it's for our league. I don't know if it's actually required. I haven't seen the league bylaws. So I don't know if it's actually in there, but it's one of those things. It's like many teams do it. So it's courteous to do it to others. It's, like I said, it's one of those almost socially required. But I think one time last year we weren't able to get any film from someone because their cameraman was sick or something. But if you're going like against a Belgian team, we may not have any film on them, or the only film we get is from like last year, and at this level it could be any number of things. Like they could have completely changed their defense because they realized they have a lot more linebackers than linemen this year, so they went from 4-3 to 3-4, and then you're like, wow. And so last year they were running 4-3 and now they're running 3-4. And you're like, well, that wasn't on film. Yeah, your film is great. I try not to watch my film too terribly much. Because I know a lot of people watch, because when I broke my collarbone, they allowed me to do the stats on Huddle. So I was able to, I had administrator access, and I was able to see watch time. And I'd see some players on the team would be like, oh yeah, I spent this long watching film after you posted this. I'm like, they watched the amount of watch time for that clip where they got a really good tackle 7 times. That's exactly the watch time they were on it. I was like, So they only watch film. They only watch it for themselves. And that's fine, but you can definitely tell I could definitely tell who was watching full film. I do. I go through, if the thing is marked up offense, defense, I always sort it by that and watch offense, because it's usually scout film. So there's like their offense is on the field, their defense is on the field, and I don't care about their defense. I don't go against their defense. Yeah. But like watching all the offensive plays is, and just to see, like sometimes I've gone like 6 watch throughs of it, because I'll watch, the 3 inner linemen, guard and center, and I'll see what they do. And I'll watch every single play. And I'll just sit there and I'll just like, pass, run, and I'll just do that one. I'm like, can I see from the sky if their reads are consistent, if my reads will be consistent with them? Because that's a thing. You know, they may not have linemen. They may not know the thing. They may not know that they're supposed to run forward when they back up. So if I could read the guard wrong, and that's just not that I should not trust the guard, but realize that maybe that's not the best person to read. So that's another thing that I have to deal with here. And sometimes you got to watch literally just one person the entire time. If you're a wide receiver, watch that corner. Watch every play and make sure that that corner that you constantly line up, or any corner, and see if, you know, like you could watch the general things of the offense or the defense, but it's sort of like you got to figure out, like, does that corner, does he flip his hips easy? If he doesn't, burn him. Stop and go. Suggest your coach give you some stop and goes. Because even if he gets to the side and starts turning a little bit, if you stop, he'll re-square up, and then you can bolt, and then you break his freaking hip open. Cause him to trip. I know it's called breaking his ankles, but that's always me, like when you do a juke and they skid out of the way. That's breaking ankles to me. But like with the stop and go or anything like that. Or you can see if he just opens his hips too early. Does he always tend to open his hips towards the sideline, or does he open up to the field? Like, if he doesn't open up his hips at all, that could be a sign. But you got to watch the tendencies of the people. And like, there's one guy at the gym that understands why American football watches film, but they don't do it in other sports here. Someone commented, Ireland always feels like home, no matter where you are or where you grew up. The Irish magic, they call it. I don't know about that one. Someone's like, you got that shirt from Decathlon? If so, I'm wearing the same one right now. It's not a negative comment, but yeah. It's their generic fitness shirt. Yeah, you're definitely right with the learning from the bad plays. That's why when people were asking about like highlights, did you have any highlights? And I'm like, crap, because I'm overly critical of myself. So the plays that I actually had like stats marked down for, I didn't consider good plays. So I had to go back through and say, yes, they are.
So today, or a Big Mac meal. No, this just reinforces the idea that you have to earn your food, and you don't. If you want a Big Mac, if you want a Coke, have one. And And exercise should be about managing stress or getting strong, not about earning your food. I know exactly how many burpees it would take for me to burn off a donut. And for many years, I never ate donuts because of it. Because we all know burpees are awful. And if it was the decision between eating a donut or doing that many burpees, I was not going to eat the donut. I was not going to eat the donut because doing that many burpees was daunting, overwhelming, and just a terrible, horrible thought. Needless to say, I eat donuts now and life is better. I just get a variety pack with little donuts so I can eat more flavors. So yeah, moral of the story, you don't need to earn your food. And don't calculate how many calories it would take to burn off foods. Dumb idea. They do a video talking
Yeah. See what the weather's gonna be like tomorrow. Because I checked it at like 3 o'clock, but that's still well ways out for as volatile as the Netherlands can be.
Yeah.
Partially cloudy, high of 24. I'll be around the time that we're eating, so we can maybe eat outside. Oh, sprinkle dinkle in the late night. Yeah. Today, sunny. Sunday, partially cloudy. Or they're both partially cloudy. Monday, showers. Tuesday, showers. Wednesday, showers. Thursday, scattered showers. Ooh.
A change.
Yeah. But just like why I swept the balcony today, I'm like, I should probably go clean that. We're going to have.
Exclusively referred to God. So the other day I had a discussion about religion with someone, and I exclusively referred to God with they them pronouns. Christian conservatives break so easily. So the other
It's just, oh, gotcha. They're just the worst. Like every name they call you, it's because they are that person. Ma, you're really going to come in the chat with that? I immediately have to authorize your first chat.
This does not bode well.
This does not bode well. But 82 is pleasant. What are you talking about? God, that's like 27 degrees Celsius. Fuck, that's great. You mean those?
It's a little warm. But
It's a smidgy warm, but it's still pleasant.
yeah.
You know, pushing it up into the 30s here is a pain in the butt, but I'll go riding my bike. It definitely at 27. That's when compared to over 90-degree days we've been getting with full humidity too. Full humidity or full relative humidity? Or wet bulb humidity? Oh, you didn't have AC for the last week either. Do you not know how to exchange air? I didn't have AC in the States either. One of our roommates had it. He put it in, but it was really only keep the living area relatively cool. But like at night, we just exchange air and then lock everything up. I swear to God, it's like people don't know how to People like, oh, I have to have AC. That's literally the only way to cool an apartment is AC or a swamp cooler. What? What? And when they don't have AC, it's just.
I had a discussion about religion.
The irony is the day it died, I was watching Body Heat of all things. Okay. Coincidental, I think. Maybe not irony. But I more or less can't understand irony anymore because I love us. And a bunch of overly educated theater kids.
There's been a bunch of videos recently.
I did a check to see if I'd look good at that beard, and the answer was no. But I'm going to update the bald filter to see.
One thing I've learned. Sorry, one thing I've learned is that there's really only so many theater kids you can have in a room before it gets annoying. More than one. Because then they start bounding off each other. If you get off that one, you start having harmonics. And, hello, Marcus Wells.
Yes. See if I'd look good, because like bald men with beard usually look pretty good, so I'm going to test them. Right, the other day,
I am in absolute full agreement with this. At some point, we need to cut off travel to some of these red states. Because if you watch the maps starting from July up until now, all you see is the South go bright red and it slowly moves up. They need to be stopped. Build that wall.
That's what I've been saying. Can we just like? But I'm like out here saying like, can we just wall off America? What league of football do I play in? It's called the AFBN. It's the National League of the Netherlands. Not sure. The country's name is the Netherlands, but many other countries call it by some other names, like Holland or Hollandia. Well, let's authorize another thing from Zachary because utilizing Irish slang is hard for him. But yeah, I'm in the Netherlands. We're in the Eredivisie, which is the top league of the Netherlands for American football, and games start the weekend of September 25th, and they will probably go until July. 10 games in a season plus playoffs, so that, well, if that playoffs, so that would be to like mid-June probably for actual season games, and then the playoffs at that point will be from June to July, and somewhere in the first week of July is the Tulip Bowl. Why the Tulip Bowl? Just Google it. Tulips, Netherlands. You're going to find something called Gokenhof. Or you're going to see a giant rainbow, or you saw Spider-Man Far From Home. where he met Happy in the field of tulips in the middle of the Netherlands. Same with moms. 5 is okay. Not pushing it. There's always one who has a chip on her shoulder, and it activates all the other moms bitching. I guess. I'm not necessarily sure which kind of moms you've been around, but I've been around a great number of mom groups that are all perfectly fine. Barely had chips on their shoulders. Unless I don't know what a chip on the shoulder is, and they were actually bitching the entire time. But maybe a woman's chip on the shoulder is different than a man's chip on the shoulder. Flagged for sexism. So rich white ladies. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Build that wall. Build that wall. I am an absolute.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind
I'm going to put something on the screen.
I just uploaded it.
And this is very.
So apparently England or Britain is also having a problem with anti-vax folks. Anti-vaccine protesters tried to storm the BBC offices, but they had the wrong address because they moved out of there 10 years ago. They can't even protest correctly. They can't leave the EU in a timely fashion. They can't even protest because they're 10 years out of date. The reply says they did their own research. Yeah, that was the Washington Post reported that you also have the body heat soundtrack stuck in your head. You did last week. I try to get something else stuck in your head, but you don't have really much sense of rhythm. Plus, you're not probably old enough for it.
It's so harsh.
Well, it's true. I've made references before, and he does the whole Terrence thing. He just blinks at me, and it's like, huh? Like, okay, fine.
How it tastes. You cannot pair grapes with spinach or apples and spinach and kale. No,
Before I say something totally rude, let's think about the logistics of this. Bodies are wonderfully efficient machines. How efficient would it be if you could only digest one food at once? Not at all. And logistically, you would get nothing else done if you were eating one food and then another food and then another food. No. So yes, this is total bunk science. Protein, carbs, and fats all have different mechanisms of digestion. They all use different enzymes, and they all occur in different locations in the body. This is so they don't compete for digestion and absorption. So yes, you can eat them happily at the very same time. And you should eat them all at each meal, because they all have different purposes and they all have different effects on your blood sugar. Yes, micronutrients do compete for absorption, so this is why we should have balance and variety in our diet. But yes, you can have multiple foods at a meal just fine.
how it tastes. This one.
Mm.
So I'm driving to work this morning.
Have you any idea what kind of note?
New missed call on Google Voice.
Oh no.
Yeah. Came from a 213 number. I don't even care anymore.
What you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb, you can cut it at the freeze. Going by punching yourself in the face. I mean, PHP only. Parents should be allowed to keep the rage going by punching themselves in the face. I mean, PHP only says that you need to have taken damage that round. He's out of line, but he's right. Parents should be allowed.
Barbarians should be able to keep their rage going by punching themselves in the face. All it says is you have to take damage. He's out of line, but he's right. It's a drastic oversimplification of events, but yes. That can and will happen. Yep. Where's that Machopper going?
What you dance? Here's something I wish I knew before I was in my 30s. It's easier to shuck corn after it's been boiled.
Okay, no, I knew that one. Thanks, Dad.
And it just slides right out. Whoa. 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 Here's something I wish.
You can have so much corn now. You just realized, oh, I can have more corn. Like I've seen the little double packs of corn at Overtime. I've been thinking about getting. They're not. They're shucked. All you got to do is, I think, boil them or mash them, stick them in a stew.
Drawn closely. What? Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. But this thing saying out loud, I feel like it should be fairly straightforward.
Young dude's not training legs, but on PEDS.
This thing saying out loud, I feel like
Performance enhancing drugs.
it should be fairly straightforward. But if you're a young guy, you're still in your first couple of years of training, and you're still not out of your I don't train legs yet phase, you have no place touching PEDs. You're potentially messing with your hormone profile for life, and you're not actually serious enough about training yet to train 50% of your body. Is that a good idea?
Can tell me someone, which exercise is this?
I ever see someone record anyone at the gym laughing at them, I will personally fucking drop a plate on your toes.
Can tell me someone.
That's actually a really good shoulder exercise. The guy has like 5-pound dumbbells and he's declined on the bench and he's kind of a bigger guy. I'm like, it's probably fine. I mean, all he's doing.
Is taxation theft?
No. Apparently, Logo TV says that more than 90% of LGBTQ plus U.S. adults have received COVID-19 vaccine, compared to 71.3% of the general population. What does the reform say? Vaccinati COVID. Corona dashboard. There it is. 21.9 million. Gezette prikken. Bekijken alle cijfers op dit dashboard. Cijfers van Nederland. Gezette prikken in totaal 21.9 million. Geplande prikken deze week 897,000. Iedere minuut krijgen 121 mensen een prik. I mean, obviously it's not happening right now. It's a Sunday. I mean, it might be, but it's also 8 o'clock on a Saturday. You know, but this is every minute 121 people are getting jabbed.
I mean, say what you want. They're hella efficient.
When we finally got vaccines, it went super fast.
Oh yeah.
Like you went in for both of them and you were just like, pew, pew, pew. Like you, from the front door of that thing, all the way through the lines, talking to people, snaking your way around to whatever booth you did. You sat longer in the waiting room.
Both times.
Both times. Ziekenhuisopnames, 63. Aantal mensen dat besmet wordt door een. Number of people infected by one contagious person. The value is slightly up from July 29th to 0.87. One is one.
Yeah.
Currently, we are working with. Oh, I'm also hella impressed by how creative some of the vaccine pandemic conspiracies are. Oh, I've been all down on TikTok on that one. I mean, I've been watching his stuff for a while. But I only recently followed him so I could start getting the stuff in order because he posts like 4 or 5 videos a day and sometimes the FYP is a little bit funky. So followed to get much more consistent stuff. But like he's talking about build a border wall around Florida and Texas. Probably much of the South. I mean, I don't know how I mean, I don't know the conspiracy theories themselves because I'm just dealing with like TikToks on medical TikTok. So they're only reporting and talking about some of the stuff they come up with, but they're trying not to give credence to those conspiracy theories by saying they don't matter. Just get your vaccine. It doesn't matter what you believe, sort of thing, which after a fashion makes it worse. Yeah, according to the Netherlands, according to this site, as of August 8th, 10 million people are fully vaccinated. This graph shows how many people have had a shot. It also shows how many people have been fully and how many people have been partially vaccinated. And the fully vaccinated is squeezing out the partially vaccinated. So yeah, But again, that's updated as of August 8th because they only update this probably once a week.
Yeah.
Like the people who think the pandemic was intentionally started by a cabal of the rich to get more power and vaccines are meant to sterilize most of the planet. Seems fairly. I mean, that doesn't even seem creative. That's replaced. That's a Mad Lib. That's a Mad Lib. Like, I could replace 2 words in that, and make a whole other conspiracy theory. Like the people who think that banking was intentionally started by a cabal of rich people to get more power and that debit cards are meant to sterilize most of the planet. What? What?
I'd say stop giving them ideas.
I mean, that the internet was intentionally started by a cabal of rich people to get more power and that cell phones are meant to sterilize most of the planet. Like, it's just a Mad Lib, Zachary. That's not a creative conspiracy theory. Not just replacing 2 nouns.
Thank you.
I do kind of think it was taken advantage of by some groups of people for more power, though certain governments come to mind. And that's where the slippery slope is. Because you have someone like, I know that there's this weird like disinformation 12 or something like that, where there's like 12 people that fabricated, I don't know. Oh, there's some information out there. That's exactly what happened. After a fashion, there's this exercise my therapist talked about, like, once you see an idea, place it on the leaf on the river and just let it go. And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of things I'm doing that way. But the problem is I'm doing it with stuff externally. I'm not doing it with the internal things I'm supposed to do. I took the wrong message from this therapy session. But I'm like, I don't really pay attention. It just moves on by. But like, even the, I don't want to say just the disinformation 12, but there's like the people that will do anything about disinformation, whether it be fitness crap or health food, marketing, buzzword, MLM crap. That's, of course, they're going to make money off of that one. Did some people make money off of, vaccination stuff, anti-vax stuff? Yeah. Crystals, essential oil people. You can stop COVID with these essential oils from the company called Goop or something like that. I'm most interested in all of the pandemic-based horror and thriller stories that are going to come out of this. I guess. I mean, we had them. Isn't that what I Am Legend and like 28 Days Later is?
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll take those stories. We'll pull out a couple nouns, maybe a verb or two, an adjective. We'll just replace some things and we'll repackage it with some new, younger actors. Hollywood.
It's the typical Republican.
See a lot of Rear Window ripoffs that are going to come out in the next few years. Well, Mr. Film, you can tell me what a Rear Window ripoff is.
Frying pan and into the fucking fire. Figuratively, literally. So I want to do Okay, let's have a talk about boosters. All these crunchy and smart focus. This is why you have to have extras. I'm going to say this now. If you have kids in Mississippi,
Person is isolated in their home for X reasons. They see a crime committed by their neighbor. Shenanigans and thrills ensue from there. That's a Rear Window ripoff?
So Rear Window is probably the movie.
Oh. You should have started with that one when I asked the question what a Rear Window ripoff is, rather than at least tell me that Rear Window was not a type of paradox, but like named after a, yeah. Like it's called the grandfather paradox because it involves a grandfather. It could literally be any ancestor, but it's just nicer when it's a grandfather. Makes a bit more sense. But like I didn't know Rear Window was necessarily a thing. Person isolated in their home for X reasons. The crime was committed by their neighbor. That sounds like literally every half-baked, low actor budget. Not like the actors are getting paid less. They only have like 5 actors in the entire movie. Like you could probably do like a one-man play and just have like pre-recorded sounds for someone on the phone. And the person's constantly like, you could do that with a one-man show. Not saying that they're bad. That's also why they're done. They're cheap as hell to make. Yeah. We watched a video, I think it was Star Trek. It was Trek Culture. And they were explaining that like there was an episode that happened and it was a clip show and it had never really been done before, but there was like the 1980s writer strike or something like that. So they came up with an idea to keep a relative show okay, and they did a clip show. But now, like, it's gotten to the point that, like, Aaron watched all, we'll call it 15 seasons, because Atlantis and Stargate SG-1. It was telling when you had an episode where everyone was in the conference room and we're having a clip show, the next episode was going to be loaded with CG graphics.
Yeah.
It's it got to the point where we're like, wow, this was a budget saver. Like, don't think Hollywood can survive putting all its eggs in one basket of multi-million-dollar movies anymore. Oh yeah, it can.
Because people will still see them.
Yeah, it can. Finally, you go live. So excited. I've been live for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Is there a timer on yours for this?
Yeah.
Started stream
That's
28.
when I refreshed the page last.
But yeah, it says down at the bottom, started stream 2 hours ago. Yeah. So it does say that. I'm not sure if it would for mobile. Anyways, it's okay. Notifications on YouTube, even if you have the click notification. But yeah, that's why I told you about the thing, because I'm like, you can just come into the live stream and we can chat about things rather than relying on extensive stuff. The new Bond movie coming was made for approximately 300 million American unit currency. It has to make over 900 million just to break even, and right now no one thinks it's going to make that back. It might. It might. A lot of people are really bothered about Chang-Chi. I feel like if they did much more marketing about that movie, I'd know how to say it.
Right.
Shang-Chin. How many card collections? No. That is a hard no. I ended that when I was 15, 16 years old. I don't even have digital card collections. Most of it will probable from me. But yeah, like that movie, I really hope it does well, because it's one of what I've seen for people say that it's basically the Black Panther for a different demographic. It can be the movie that does so much. And the actor is kind of unknown in Hollywood, and it could be a really big break if he gets a couple Marvel films out of it. What do you think of my profile pic? I don't know. It's just, isn't it a little tubby guy? I think I looked at it on my phone, but it's hard to click profile pics sometimes and look at them. Go back and see if I can find that comment through the actual YouTube app. The notification was a couple hours ago. Yeah, I can't really see it. It just looks like a tubby kid. That's it. It's Thurman Merman from Bad Santa. Okay. I need to look up Bad Santa. Oh, that was the Billy Bob Thornton movie from 2003. I have a very spotty memory of those years. 2001 to 2005 was for science.
Sure, science. We'll go with that.
Hey, I was doing the scientific method. I was providing controls. I was doing experiments. I was making sure of long-term repercussive effects. I was repeating experiments. The Netherlands doesn't have, well, okay, the Netherlands still, I believe, does accept its currency, but they don't utilize it anymore. Europe now uses the euro. It would be like if I could ask, can I see California's currency? California doesn't have a currency, they use the dollar. So Europe uses the thing. Here it is. I'm trying to find my wallet. I do not have any actual
Bills.
banknotes on me. Yeah, I have coins though. Because my dumbass is going to be like, I'll just pull out a 1. A 1. Oh, wait. The rare thing in the States is the $2 bill, but they have a €2 coin here. And then there's the 20 cent. I used to carry 20 cents around because that's what the lockers in the, I mean, I still technically carry it around. That's what the lockers in the pool utilized. So I kept a 20-cent piece on me all the time. But because I can't use my debit card on the lockers. But yeah. I mean, I could probably spend 50 cents for a larger locker, but I really don't need to. I can just cram things in a cubby. But yeah, I don't actually have any bills, so we don't use them anymore. What's the biggest change I had to make when I moved to the Netherlands? Not driving. Not driving. Because there is no way we were rich enough to move that Prius across a continent and over an ocean. So I drove that car to my sister's house and said, sell it, Callie. Gave her all the relevant information and she took care of that. And like the next day I flew out. The last time I drove a car was August 4th, 2018. Well, you've seen the videos of where I go bike riding and all that stuff. You know, you've seen me do trams and trains and buses and all that jazz. I mean, hell, I mean, at this point, if I really wanted to, if I wanted to run a lot of errands around in town, but didn't want to get the bike over the thing, I could technically just take the bus to Amstel Station and just rent a, get a an OV feeds from there. There's no basket, but usually I rarely use that thing anyways. Yeah, that's pretty much the biggest thing was not driving. That is a periodic table. We felt like we wanted to have some semblance of spiciness on the wall, so it was the only thing, because we had a periodic table before. It was hanging up in the kitchen because that's where you want to give me the periodic table is next to the place where I can do experiments. To be fair, it is right next to the kitchen. Anyways, this is one giant room. But yeah. We have another poster about stellar engines from the exact same YouTube creator. And yeah, that's it. That's all the posters we have. because everything moved down to 4 suitcases, 2 large, 2 medium size, because there's small suitcases also.
Yeah, they're medium.
Yeah, so we had 2 large, 2 medium, and 2 backpacks. That's what we moved with. Every Saturday. Every Saturday. I do some Twitch streaming for Subnautica, but nobody watches that. That's on Tuesday day for you. I don't know what time it is where you're at, but you speak pretty good English, so you're probably in America, and it is probably somewhere in the afternoon right now for you, because it would what 2 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Depends on what time zone you're in. So it'd be a little bit before this time on Twitch is when I'd be on Tuesday. But that's just on Twitch. That's just me trying not to die underwater. Yeah, I know about Bosnia. It's over in the Balkans. It is. We haven't really been there. The only of those areas we've been around was when our cruise ship docked in Albania and Croatia. So, Albania was a trip because they're not in the EU, so it didn't have we were completely cut off from the internet. Like we were just walking around Saranda, and it was just like we have no phone, we have no cell service because T-Mobile only services the EU. So, and we don't allow roaming. So, yeah, that was fun. I know you don't have an accent. I watched the video on your channel. But the Power Ranger thing, like 6 months ago, no, you don't have an accent. I think Bosnian language is still a Slavic language. Bruh, I have made way more embarrassing videos on my channel. I've been doing this for 9 years. I guarantee you there's a more embarrassing video than that one. A lot of German people, go to Croatia for vacations. A lot of Dutch people I know go to Mallorca, and a lot of British people go to Mallorca, and a lot of people in Belgium go to Mallorca, and a lot of the French people stay where they're at because they think they got the best country in the world, or they just go down to Lyon or something. They don't have to worry about not speaking French to someone.
Because what could be worse than that?
I'm staring at that question.
Yeah.
Wait for him to get done typing. that's why I was frumping that one over. I was like, a better team in America. I mean, I understand what that means, but like, how much better? Like, all? I don't actually know. There would have to be some, and if an offer like that happened, I would be reading every word of that contract. Every word. In triplicate. Just, the NFL is a great place to watch football, but I don't necessarily know if I'd want to play in that. They're a business, not a sports league. Better than all teams before. That's pretty much what I was taking it as. Because, yeah. But, yeah. It would seem too good to be true, and I'd immediately wonder what the catch is. Because at my age and as how long I've been playing, there would definitely be a catch with an NFL team. And so I would read over that. Not one of those that immediately would just jump on board because OMG NFL. That's how you get sucked into really bad contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers. You too. Pretty much that, with all the travel time to go around and film things and let alone the the money spent doing it and the time editing and all that jazz. It's not necessarily full-time work, but it is self-employment. But football is not necessarily an occupation it occupies my time, but I do not get paid directly by any company for being a football player. So.
Hi, what's up, guys? Hey, as some of you may know, some of you may not know, I'm leaving temporarily to go to Finland for school. Leaving September 2nd, the little announcement. September 1st is also the 5th anniversary of Iron House.
And there goes our strong safety. Sophian's going to Finland. He's too brown to go to Finland. It's Finland.
Hi, what's up, guys? Hey, as some of you may know.
Finland. I don't want you complaining about the gold. Netherlands again. after that. I mean, he's Dutch, so he's still going to be complaining about the weather. That's just their national pastime. But so go to Finland.
Flights are cheap right now.
Actually, according to some people, they're horrifically expensive. Not. How many injuries have I had from football? Okay, we need to qualify severity. So what do you mean by injury? Because an injury can be all the way down to like a stubbed toe, or that's okay. But I mean, serious injuries that took me out of the game, probably like 5. You know, there's a couple calf or hamstring or groin injuries of sorts. It completely shattered my collarbone for 1 year. I've had, I mean, that finger is basically crooked. Yeah, broken bones. This finger got chipped and it's swelled up outside, but it was just held in a sling. This one completely snapped in half. None of the other bones have broken per se, and this thing, well, here, it's gross. It's gone kind of away, but maybe I might be able to see the whole scar that goes all the way down there. I had to have a complete reconstruction of the collarbone. But things I needed to go to the hospital for, just the collarbone. Everything else was like urgency care. All right, I mean, they come with the game. That's part of it. If you want to play football but not get hurt, you're not going to be playing football. You're going to be dodging tackles when you should be making tackles. You're going to be shying away from the actual thing that makes football more than many other sports. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have to constantly assess my pain scale tolerance when I'm at the doctor. Are you having about a 5 or a 7 or a 3 right now? And my brain's like, well, I'm not dying. Like, to me, like, you know, a 10 on the pain scale would literally lead to death. Like, the pain would be so intense, I would die. And so, but to me, like, my pain tolerance is pretty crazy. Every time something's like, that's starting to hurt, I should really go to the doctor if I'm noticing pain. But yeah, if you're worried about injuries, I mean, I don't want to shy you away from football. I want people to try it, but you're probably, you know, if you're constantly shying away from injuries on football, you're not really doing football. This is why that, let's see if I can find that picture. This drill has created more basketball players. It's an NFL meme. Yeah, if you shy away from a drill like that, yeah. It says this drill has produced more basketball players than any NBA team ever. And that's the thing, is like not everything hurts. But that's the thing, is when you get better at football, you will have less injuries, but you can get more injuries. It's not a light sport. And depending on your position, you can have different injuries. Receivers can have a lot of busted arms and, busted arms, shoulders, fingers, and stuff like that. Whereas linemen are going to have a bunch of knee problems and possible ankle problems, but not necessarily arm problems, because they're dealing with like big guys bearing down on them and they're having to push them up. But this is pretty easy to do. Whereas when you're fully extended, you grab a ball and you fall down on your elbow, that could send shocks up into your thing. So it just depends on your position. I'm a linebacker. I broke my collarbone. People are like, well, that makes sense. Checks out. But I mean, like, a lot of injuries that require you to go to the hospital, you can have that. You can have that in a car. In such a car-dominated area like the United States, you can have those on bikes. You can have those on rollerblades. You can have those skateboarding. I mean, I'm constantly seeing broken elbows out there on that skate park. Oh, what about tight ends? That's what position I want to play. Tight ends can function like linemen and receivers at the same time. Like, you could have some knee problems, but with the knee problems with the linemen, it's not necessarily an injury. It's just an over time, just constant. And pretty soon things just hurt over time after maybe 10 years, 15 years. But as a tight end, like, you could have busted elbows. There's Taz and Takis, boy. We got 20 minutes left of this live stream. I pinned a comment that I'm only going to live stream for 3 hours because I got to go to practice tomorrow. And I'll wake up early and make sure that I take care of this vlog and get everything ready to go. But yeah, I mean, just look at like Rob Gronkowski's injury history. He's been a pretty significant and successful tight end. So just look at his injury history. But the idea is you get injured and you come back. You get injured and you come back. Injuries are a part of the game. It's a tough, rough game. I mean, it's just a Sunday practice. I'm hoping more people will be there than on Thursday night. But I don't necessarily know. Yeah. Bye-bye. You wouldn't believe how much Daniel Craig hurt himself. Yeah, you can get injured doing, mild stunts in Hollywood. I don't want to say life is pain because otherwise I have to go get the emo stuff on and whatever. Good idea to be drinking that. They're coming. You just have to wait. That's how the amateur stuff goes. I was just checking the vaccination Corona dashboard about like an hour ago. And things are looking really good, and we're seeing how they hit how it hits all that jazz. That weekend. Because like if you watch Thursday's video, you'll hear like Marcus say that it's like Marcus would say that it's he said the 25th, but I'd heard Maurice say the 26th. It's that weekend. So it may be the video for Sunday, but Marcus is pretty assured that we may not be having Saturday games. So it's most likely the 26th. And that brings in line with Monday videos for me. I just had this sudden suspicion that I didn't actually put the correct thumbnail. I didn't put the correct thumbnail on that video. Ugh, I even had a good thumbnail for it. Christ. Good. Better. I know that my videos, like from practice, get viewed better if you immediately see that I'm wearing football gear in the video. So, yeah, it'll be that time. And that will be, let me look at my calendar real quick. That's a clock. So 15, so 22, 29, 5. So yeah, that's 5 weeks, and then we'll have that one. Finally, yes, I am. It'll feel better when it's actually, we have an actual like opponent that I know the name of. It's not just like football game, September 26th. Who are we playing? Where are we playing? What time are we playing? Football game, 26th. Thank you, AFBN. And one had to. Oh, thank you so much. Be right back.
Then I was going to think, well, it won't be that long. Everybody got here momentarily. He's already been here. Probably only reduced too long because you had to be. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that one. I had to go do some laundry stuff. I just realized I momentarily was like, oh, I didn't put that in for a spin. Oh, shit. Sorry. Had one of his bolts placed in his shoulder and sliced off the tip of the finger. Blew out his thigh muscles. Yeah. I swear to God, you just want to marry Daniel Craig. You know so much about this guy. That's like, what? But yes, thank you, Thousand Talkies Boy. I know I look 30. It's one of those older millennial things. You've got so many guys roughly around my age. They're like, oh my God, I need to put the moisturizer on. I need to put the moisturizer on. I need to put the SPF on. I'm like, why? I need to make sure I keep my youthful looks. You want to continue to look like you're 20 when you're 40? That's disturbing. Because I look like I'm in my late 20s, early 30s, and I'm in my 40s. So, I mean, I have clean skin. I mean, I wash my face. But, I also have like wonderfully soft hair. But then again, most guys actually have ridiculously soft hair. We don't need to work with 7 herbs and spices. We just put, freaking bar soap in there. We're like, done, rinse. We have a long mane of hair, and girls are like, how do you do it? We don't torture our hair. The body is good at what it's doing. Who added me on Snapchat? How do you fuckers add me on Snapchat? Fine, I will accept it. I feel like opening up Facebook just to type in this dude's name. But like, I thought someone added me on TikTok. No. Okay, my sister's being thoroughly weird. She's chasing her son around a Rite Aid. And they're posting to Facebook to talk to each other. Shampoo done. Yeah, it's just like, you know, guys are so low maintenance because we got so much shit going on up here. We don't have time to deal with all of this shit. I was like, oh, Eindhoven Raptors. Apparently, they're desperate for referees. Someone added me on Snapchat, and I can't seem to find him at all on Facebook. So looks like I'm going to be spammed, maybe. Seahawks. Yeah, I just cannot handle the Seahawks. Not in the slightest. I don't like Seattle as a city, and thus by extension, I'm just like on the Seahawks. Plus, I come from Portland, and so like the nearest NFL team is there, and the fact that the Seahawks pitched a little fit that if Portland had an NFL team, then they would pull most of their fan base away from the Seahawks, and that would make them go under. The NFL's like, sure, whatever. So Portland's not really allowed to have an NFL team because of that ruling in like 1996. So yeah, it's just like, what are you doing, Seattle? But I don't want, like I said, I'm from Portland, so I have this general aversion of Seattle because it's like it's always like that bigger, weirder sibling. Because there's not really any other city in the Pacific Northwest. There's Portland, there's Seattle, and people are like, Boise? And then the forgotten middle child of like Spokane, and nobody cares about that. But the general idea is just like, only the fact that they have like eye-bleedingly orange on their uniform. That's why when it comes down to like uniform combos and designs that I like, I go with Panthers, obviously. I like Carolina blue, the Rams, and the Bengals. Yeah. You'd fit right in here. So you probably are super jealous of these shoes that I picked up. I got them. Yeah. Yeah. They were to celebrate Team Netherlands doing something in like the soccer ball or something, soccer game tournament thing. So they sold a bunch of orange gear. Yeah. The grocery stores were selling stuff like this. And yeah, that's why it gets weird when I wear my Oregon State Beavers stuff. Because all the Dutch are looking at me and they're like, what? What? Yeah. Well, the Netherlands was founded by a guy with the last name of Orange, so Willem van Oranje. In fact, the Dutch flag is currently red, white, and blue. However, there are some paintings way back when where the red was actually bright fucking orange.
And I think their naval flag still is orange, white, and blue.
Something like that. Oh, that's the prince's flag. Now it's labeled as that. Yeah. Yeah. So if you really like orange, you're just going to be. I would suggest if you ever come visit the Netherlands, do it at the end of April. Because that is King's Day. I couldn't hear that right. I thought he said Alonzi. I'm trying to find a. Yeah, there's. So apparently there's going to be a big festival in Eindhoven called Aquabest. April 27th, 2020, Supersized King's Day Festival 2022. Yeah, we all gonna be vaccinated. This town gonna lose its shit on New Year's. Yeah, this is a typical King's Day parade. Can I interest you in some orange?
Mm-hmm.
Can I interest you in some orange? I'm coming right now. Can I interest you in some orange? Orange crown, orange hair, orange powder on the skin, orange wigs.
Orange shirts.
You want to have a big old orange fro? Yeah, like, oh no, I'll be here. I'll be in Amsterdam. I will be. I need that hair. Yeah, it's just. I wonder. I actually have never tried that. I'm gonna King's Day hashtag on TikTok. Oh, it's just people complaining about how to eat tampusen. Ah, of course it is. Yeah. You can just go look up massive YouTube videos about King's Day and all that jazz. It's all there. There's even how to survive King's Day here. I will put it down there. You guys can watch this King's Day survival guide. There. You can, I gotta end this now. I gotta head to bed and stuff. That is a video you could watch. I'll leave it here for a minute or two so you can open that in a tab or something. Then I'm gonna watch it. It's only like 3 minutes. And yeah, I will see you guys next Saturday, unless I die at practice. We do not want this, but that's what's gonna stop me from live streaming.